oh, I gotta call the doctor. You're like gushing, like there's a lot of blood. Hey gal pals, welcome back to
part 2.
We left off on the ultrasound part, so let's just get right into it, guys.
Yay!
Doctor, she comes in. Well, first it's a ultrasound tech, so she's doing the ultrasound and she's like, and she's just like, you know, they don't really tell you much till the doctor comes. And then she gets out of, she's like, I'm gonna have the doctor come look at this, and I'm like, oh no. Since they did so many ultrasounds, I knew what to look for and I knew what they were looking for, so I had learned their little measurements and all that because there was so many. I was like, well, looks like that baby's still not growing. So I kind of had already had an idea.
It would tell you like how, when they do the measurements, they tell you how many weeks that they were measuring at, and then you knew how many weeks they were. So you kind of would just know like, oh well, that's not right. You know, I'm 28 weeks and they're only measuring like 22 or whatever. Yeah, and so then she left and then the doctor came. She like sits down for like a minute, checks the baby, and she goes, you need to go to the delivery and deliver these babies right now. Call your husband, call your family, tell them that you're gonna have these babies right now. And I was just like, what? I like started crying. I'm like calling Jason. She just like walks out and I'm like calling Jason. I'm like, I have to have the babies right now. I'm like, hurry up. They said right now. I don't know what to do.
And so then I call my mom and then I'm like, I have to have these babies right now. And we like, I think we called his mom too. And
yeah, I called my mom on the way to the hospital. I was pretty familiar with this drive by now. Yeah. So I pretty much left work. Didn't even really have a chance to grab what
it was just so fast
because it happened that fast.
Yeah, like I was in my ultrasound appointment. Because it was just like the ultrasound appointment, the office is right next to the delivery where you deliver the babies. And so like I walk out and I go into the labor and delivery and I go in and I'm like, the doctor from the ultrasound told me to come and have these babies right now. And they're like, okay. And so she calls them and she tells them like she needs to have the baby. They called my doctor. She comes to my room. Jess gets there and they're like explaining to me everything. They are attaching me to all these monitors again. And my doctor comes in, she looks at the screen and she's like, I know you want to have them natural. Looking at the screen, you're probably gonna end up having an emergency C-section. So you can choose to have a C-section, or you can choose to try and have them natural, and then it's just you're gonna probably end up having a emergency C-section because the baby's heart was dipping. It just kept dipping. Yeah. And so we talked about it, and we're like, well, I don't want to, you know, risk something happening to the babies or anything, you know?
It's already been like a long time since this whole thing was going on with the dips and everything, and all there was just a lot of stress getting put on these babies, we felt like. So we just wanted to not put them through any more stress and just have them.
We were like, all right, I'll just have a C-section because
they had both had this. I mean, she'd had the 2 doses of steroid shots, and we talked to our doctor, and she's a doctor, you know, so she would just do a C-section, and we were like totally okay.
So then we were like, yeah, okay, we'll just do the C-section, and seriously, like maybe 10-15 minutes after we said we're gonna, like, yeah, we'll do it, they're taking me to the surgery room, and they give me all this medicine, and they're like, they give Jason his little clothes for like the surgery clothes or whatever, and
sterile.
Yeah, sterile clothes. And then I'm like in there. They gave me the I don't know, what do you call that shot thing again? Not that sterile. The spinal tap. They give me that, and I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. And they're like already in there. Jason's not even in the room, and they're like, I'm like, wait.
It was scary. Even the spinal tap block thing was like,
it happened so fast, and I was like, okay, so something that people don't tell you in the surgery room, it's freaking freezing. It is freezing.
Tons of doctors.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was probably like
There was like 20.
There was probably like
20 nurses and doctors.
almost 20 people. It was crazy.
It was, oh, there's a lot of people. And so then I'm like, wait, you can't, they're like, oh yeah, I see their head, you know, because they're in there and they're like, I'm like, you can't get her out until my husband's in here. Where is he?
I'm out there sitting
He's just out
outside
there
the door like
taking an Instagram
waiting.
picture,
I'm
like, or Snapchat saying, I'm about to meet my girls. And they go and get him, and as soon as he walks in, they take Violet out.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later, Eleanor comes out, and they take them away from me. I don't get to see them.
Violet was mac, Eleanor was cheese.
Yeah, I told them that.
So it was mac. It's been mac and cheese ever since they were in her belly. And then we got them out, and they were just like screaming like regular babies. They were just tiny.
They were so tiny. They were like this tiny. And so then they like, he leaves me, he goes with the babies in the NICU, and I'm there, they're like, you know, doing their thing.
So I'm going, yeah, I go out, so I'm just to make sure they don't like get them confused or anything, and like, I don't know. I hear all these weird stories about like the twins, you know, and I was like, oh, I better go with the babies. So I'm with the babies, they're like these little spider monkey looking things. Super cute, all tons of hair.
They had a lot of hair.
All the doctors and the nurses are like, oh, great job. Like, I was like, okay. Like, they just couldn't believe that these babies were so healthy.
Yeah.
They didn't need any help breathing. They didn't need any help staying warm. They were able to pretty much do that all by themselves, which is pretty impressive for being that small.
33 weeks.
And then they didn't have any jaundice. The only thing they needed help with was they had a feeding tube.
They needed to learn how to eat.
Yeah,
you know, they didn't know how to
eat.
suck, because the babies learned that. That's the last thing they learned, is how to suck, and they didn't get to learn that.
The doctors and the nurses were just super excited how healthy these babies were. They came out just super normal babies, but they were 3 pounds each.
Yep. And then so then I go back to they take me to my room that I'm staying in, you know, to recover. No, they take me to the recovery, because after a C-section you have to be in the recovery for 30 minutes to make sure everything's fine, you know. And so I'm in there, and it's just I'm in there for an hour and a half, and usually it's only 30 minutes, and they're like, well, you know, your stomach's not contracting like it's supposed to, so your bleeding's like it won't stop bleeding. And I was just like, okay, like, what does that mean? And they're like giving me all this medicine, Pitocin, to like help me contract, and it's not working. And Jason's still not, he hasn't even came to check on me. He's with the baby still.
They're like weighing them, doing blood tests, doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do with just one baby. And then there was 2 babies.
Yeah. So
there's all this stuff going on. I mean, I'm just like
pretty
overwhelmed, you know, just by the babies.
And then I'm like, wait, I want to see my babies. Like I like saw like a little bit, like I saw their face, and then they took them away. Like I didn't even get to hold them and nothing. So I'm like, I want to see my babies. Like it's been an hour and a half. Like I haven't even been able to hold my babies. I want to see them. And so then like they bring them to me, and like let me hold them for a little bit, and then they take them away from me again, because they're like, we need to make sure you're fine. We need to see what's going on with you. Take me to the other room. They take me out of recovery. They take me to the room I'm gonna stay. They're coming to check on me every like 10 minutes. You know how they like, okay, when you have a baby, they like squish your stomach. It's the worst thing ever, especially after you've had a C-section. And it was just hurt so bad. And then like I still
Lots of blood.
Yeah, but I still can't stop bleeding. And they're like, the nurse calls the doctor. She's like, oh, I gotta call the doctor. You're like gushing. Like there's a lot of blood. And my mom was in there, and she's like freaking out, like what's going on. And then finally Jason comes in. They're like, well, if you can't stop bleeding, you're gonna have to go back and get surgery. And I was like, are you kidding me? I don't want that. So I'm like freaking out, like praying that everything goes okay, like that it stops bleeding.
And I go in there, and they're like pushing on her stomach super hard.
So bad. And they're like,
this will help you contract.
This will help you contract. Yeah, and I'm like,
And it was like it was almost like they were punching her stomach like that hard.
Worst thing in life, guys.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
Worst
Like
thing in
I
life.
couldn't even, I was really struggling to be in that same room. It just made your stomach hurt.
Watch me for a few more hours and they're like, well, it's better. It's not how we want it to be, but it's better. So as long as it like it's getting better, we won't do surgery. But finally it got better, guys. They checked on me. I was good. I didn't have to get surgery. Thank goodness. And then I got to hold the babies and I got to go see them for like all day. And then we had our babies in the NICU for like 3 weeks.
For like 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks in the hospital. We'll have to talk to you guys about our NICU stay another time.
Yeah,
because that'll be even longer. This video's already long.
Let us know if you want to know about our NICU stay.
Alright guys, that is it for the birth story.
That's our crazy birth story.
Yep. Let us know what you thought about it. If you like the pictures.
Yeah, if you got any super interesting questions, just let us know.
Yeah.
We're pretty open, so.
Yep, so thank you for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't. And our shout out goes out to Daniela Vasquez. Thank you so much for watching. That's the microwave. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.